Welcome to Akhand Vidyashram, the first institute of impeccable wisdom. Let's discuss what Vishnu, Vidya or Dasa Avatar, the Lord of sustenance and 10 stages of development. Let's understand Dasa Avatar first, the 10 incarnation of Lord Vishnu. Let us explore and explain the 10 stages or 10 incarnations step by step as given in Shastras. The first one is Matsya. The fish is the first incarnation, and you can see it very clearly, the fish with Vishnu. And this is the one who saved Saptarishis and others in the beginning to save them from conceived dissolution of the world. So saving everybody in the first stage is by Matsya only. Then come to the second stage is Kurma or tortoise, the one which was used to hold Meru mountain, do all the Sagar Manthan. I think that is another interesting incident where it gives support to the entire mountain as of Meru, so that the Devas and Dus could do the Sagar Manthan and bring all the things required from the sea itself. Third thing is Vara, which lifts earth from the dissolution of water and saves it. And that is phenomenal, and I think this incarnation itself shows that earth was round, circular like other planets, was known to Sanatana Dharma from the very beginning. Now comes to the Narsimha is the fourth one. You can half man, half woman, and this is the thing to show how devotion and divinity can make sure that evil is removed and dharma is maintained as such. Then comes the Vamanatar. The fifth is the dwarf Brahman, who is so powerful that even Bali king surrenders I can give all things, and all the things they take from earth, antariksh and thing, and finally could not, then puts his head on the head of Bali and shows that divinity is much ahead of every other living being itself. I think that was a beautiful incarnation to show perfection is some. Then Parsuram is the sixth incarnation of Brahman warrior who is born to save Brahmans from Kshatriyas onslaught or Shudras as such. Where shown Brahmans need to protection, and a Brahman can become a warrior, he can be very, very powerful. Then comes the Lord Rama. The seventh is the ideal king, ideal person to do ideal things on the sea. He is an example for how perfect human being should be. What kind of work they should do, what administration they can do, how the king should be. I think that is a beautiful statement for a king itself, a Kshatriya. Now come to the question of Balraman. The eighth incarnation shows that there should be non-alignment. You should be Vairagi, Sannyasi, Tyagi, otherwise don't align with this and that. That is also the quality of human being. As long as you are not involved, you can make sure that you lead a perfect life. And that is the eighth one. Now Lord Krishna comes the ninth incarnation, which stands for Dharma, Dharma and Dharma. Eliminate all the evil from the world and stand by only perfection and Dharma and move on to the higher levels of consciousness. Then comes Lord Kalki, the 10th incarnation of the future area. He'll have the perfection of A to Z and completely go to the level which understands the entire universe within the body itself. And Kalki means tomorrow, and is God tomorrow. Everything depends on it, very higher levels of consciousness. Though literally 10 stages of development of human beings are the life as such, you can see in 10 incarnations. Now I am going to share these things related with the human anatomy, physiology, biochemistry and things which I understand in entire biology itself. Let's see in this particular thing, the avatar Matsya. I have written fish lives in water. And that is the first one from which human beings are also developed. Even Darwin theory says we are evolved from fish. and that is first stage vertebrate. From that evolution starts. I think that is amazing, and it lives in water, and it can be the first stage of development, and could also in trigeminal layer in as the fetus. I think is very clear, is the first stage of development of human being itself. Lower Kurma now comes. The tortoise is amphibian, can live in water and earth both. It can be in water as well as earth, and that's beautiful. It's second stage of development which moves on to higher level in the formation of fetus itself. The Vara is a wild boar, live earth, and I would say by the time the fetus becomes 22 weeks, it's more or less formed. It takes a shape, and that's the time when even Antaratma gets into that and takes it to that. I think that is very interesting level in evolution of formation of the fetus itself, step by step. Then Narasimha is the half man, half woman, is a full fetal development, and in that development you can see you have all the qualities of the animals as well as the human being there. That's the reptilian brain, human brain, and other things are very clear. I think that makes development very clear ki you are literally in a stage of development in the nervous system right up to the reptilian brain. And I make it reptilian brain. The first four are only with the reptilian brain, and see the development to that stage when it's developed in the animals to the human being. Then transition from animal to the human being starts. Then fifth is Vamanatar, is a dwarf, and I relate that with a pituitary dwarfism or hypopituitarism. That is one stage which shows in that particular state you are literally understanding the whole endocrine system, autonomic nervous system. You have come to the stage of realizing that this is going to be the next stage of development, and since it is dwarf, is a hypod, but it has got all the functions of all the stimulating functions of all the endocrine glands as well as autonomic nervous system. That I think that we can show that brain has developed to a stage when it can take care of autonomic function, endocrine function by and large. And then comes to the stage of sixth is Parshurama, and where shows the limbic system and has the attraction for the Brahmins, that Brahmins being ill-treated by Kshatriyas and others, and he had to protect the Brahmins so that they can continue with their spiritual work of Vedas, Upanishads, other things, because they are intellectuals and done. They needed a protection, and for their protection, this particular thing is from their community who becomes a warrior. I said no, and that also shows whether whichever caste we come from, we can be a perfect human being provided we make a conscious effort. I think that where I say the limbic system. Then comes to seventh, Rama, and I say the perfect human being with a cortical, intelligent brain, can think rationally, can be a good Kshatriya, can take all the decision very well within the human body. You literally come to a stage that you can now rule, and all these stages are beautiful. Then eighth is Balram, I put it. It's a non-aligned person who does not take part in Mahabharata at all. He neither goes with Ravan, Kauravas or Pandavas. He remains neutral. He said, no, both are good friends. I am not getting involved. And that is what I call allocortex part of the brain, which knows to discriminate between right and wrong, but maintain non-aligned. And that is something which I have myself seen. This is where important thing comes up. You should remain silent, do your work, and don't get involved with any war as such. I think that's very important part of reaching higher levels of consciousness, and this is allocortex. Now you have seen the development of the brain, endocrine system, autonomic nervous system as such. When come to the ninth, is the righteous divine being, and it's a cortical super brain which is coming to the play. And I make it very clear, Lord Krishna had the capacity to understand dharma completely, truth, non-violence, everything. He was a living example of dharma and can do everything perfectly and save everyone with dharma and punish people who are evil by and large. I think that stands out in Mahabharata, that stands on Gita. That's why Gita's knowledge is complete, from Karma Yoga to Bhakti Yoga to Gyan Yoga to Vigyan Yoga to Pragyan Yoga to Akhandata. Everything is in Gita. And that's why Krishna literally is a manifestation of universe conscience, pedant and Brahman in one being itself. That shows how evolved is the person. He's a perfect human being who can do wonders. And I would say complete neocortex was known, and he could do the kind of things which ordinary human beings cannot do. He's a Lord incarnate. Let's put it that way. Now come to the 10th stage is Lord Karki, which is going to integrate divine being for tomorrow, the beyond. He is a person who can think beyond human being, beyond solar system, beyond spiral galaxy to the entire universe. He'll have the knowledge of all the things which is there in Vedas, Upanishads and things. He will be literally a living example of the thing, can perfection, divine mathematics, everything in by and large. I think within that, I think 10 you have seen how beautiful. You evolve from the first of the creation, from water alone like a fetus, then come to the earth, then go further and move on, and then entire autonomic nervous system, entire endocrine system, stand nervous system, stand development at every level, anatomy, physiology, biochemistry, psychology, all you can find within the 10 itself. But I'm sure everyone who's reading this must have one question in mind. Why did I put Balram, not Buddha? And that's a question I'm sure everybody has. And my honest perception and understanding, I have not included Buddha. Why? Buddha represents non-violence, and I see very clearly. Buddha means somebody is kicking, you show the other thing and then be beaten. You should not take violence at all. And that does not fit into Vishnu at all. If somebody touches anybody and the person has to protect himself, when I look at it from myself, I will not let any violence come, not let my head or anything to be born. Nobody can touch me. So Buddha's tolerance is not something which I call falls into Vishnu. No wonder even Buddhist followers have the Shaolin temple to learn how to protect themselves. Even Buddhist followers have become in self-defense as such. They may not hurt, but they know how to protect it, but not give one the other thing. So that way it doesn't fit, and I leave it at that. Shaolins, I would agree. So that is it. There is a Lord Brahma being Dharma. He, for Dharma, he'll do anything. Even if he needs to kill, he will kill it. That's it. So that where Dharma or Adharma is Vishnu's thing, not non-violence at all. And that is something which I have to make it. And I think non-aligned is better than being submissive. I'm not bringing Buddha down or anything, but that is my understanding. And I'm been taking it to myself, looking it to the whole thing as a non-aligned approach in the brain. It's a part of the nervous system, and everybody can do, but we should not let somebody ride over us, and that is what it is all about. Now come to the question of we are going to see. I have already shown 22 by 21 is Lord Brahma. That thing has already been proven. Vidya Saraswati and Brahma has shown it that 22 by 21 is the first stage of creation. Now we are going to see Vishnu's 10 development, how they come, how Brahma and Vishnu both put together become the first stage of creation, or to find the divine mathematical design. And now I am going to show you how this development of 22 by 22 to the power 10 has manifested to reach a rectangular level of Divyank rectangle. Now I have said the first stage of creation of the rectangle. So first stage of creation is 22 by 21. I have already shown. Now we are going to 10 stages of development, and so that these two things come together, first and second stage, and come to a stage which is close to the perfection by and large. And that mathematical number I have written 22 by 21 to the power of 10 only. And up to this level was revealed to me in the book Akhand and Essence of Universal Consciousness in 2002 itself. Up to that, what I have shown, I am going to show you to further. Now comes to the question how the Divyang rectangle was created by me to understand the perfect golden ratio. And golden ratio as 1.618 or 1.6183397 both are defected. I needed to find out the perfect value of the rectangle, and that I have already shown. It is 1 into 1.618034. Having done that with this rectangle, I am going to see how many 10 stages where level to come and what to be done thereafter. So first stage is square of 100 into 100 which is created, and within that you have a 21 and 21 particular thing. Square is divided into 21, 21. That's it. Now second stage, I created the first stage of development is 22 by 21. So instead of 21, I have added one more as a 1 by 21 part as to that, and that becomes the first stage of development. That is Lord Brahma. This is Lord Brahma's thing. Then second stage is, first stage of creation is 22, 21 further development. So 22, 21, the next one is further than that. Similarly, going on to second stage, another concept is added to that. Then third is added. Then fourth is added. Then fifth is added. Then sixth is added. Then seventh is added. Then eighth is added. Then ninth is added. Then 10th is added. Up to 10 stages you find they all fit into the rectangle as such, which is 100 into 161.8034. That structure is that. Up to 22 by 21 to the power of 10, you can see this picture very clearly. But you can see there is some space is still left. And let's see that particular thing. Now when I say that 10 stages, it's not 10, it's the 11th stage, but 11 is not complete. So there should be a number between 10 plus and less than 11. In between that number, that I am going to talk to you about when I talk about Lord Shiva at the third stage of maturation. But right up to this is particular stage, but it's not perfection to the level which is required. You need to complete it. So I think up to this stage is very clear in Divyang itself. Okay, this is how the steps have come. Now come to the question of the practical thing. And I told you we are talking about Anahata Chakra. Anahata Chakra is associated with oxygen in lungs to be taken. So prana was soul of oxygen, Anahata Chakra, and the divine breathing, how it can help. So how Kundalini from Muladhara Chakra to Sahasrara can go through Pranamaya Kosh with the help of oxygenation itself. Now we are going to see how the oxygen plays an important role and in the formation of getting the oxygen clarity, what a design of the nature is, which can give us the oxygen to be given to all the 100 trillion cells. Because aerobic way is the life required. Anaerobic is only an emergency when oxygen is there. We are going to talk about it. Now let me also tell you, which I think already said, respiration prime function is absorption of oxygen in the atmosphere. You can see very clearly oxygen on top is being absorbed by the lungs. Then expulsion of 61.8034% of carbon dioxide only. Remaining carbon dioxide has to be maintained for formation of hydrochloric acid in the stomach as well as in the kidneys, and the rest of the function can go. And keeping that in mind, so oxygen is very important. So what did nature do to get oxygen? Now I am going to tell you about that particular process of erythropoiesis or the formation of red blood cells. Now unique scientific evidence is formation of red blood cell. Now this is a cell which is come as such, and red blood cell formation is what is called erythropoiesis or formation. Let's discuss about that. Now the first question comes up. Normally a cell from which RBCs develop, I am going to show it to you. But before going that, what are the different stages of formation red blood cells takes place in the fetus? But intrauterine red blood cell formation. The first stage is mesoblastic stage, which is nucleated RBCs. Let me tell you, in this nucleus, RBC is there in RBCs, and that is how the first stage is done as a mesoblastic stage. And it is in yolk sac, and intravascular erythropoiesis takes place. I think that was very interesting to start. But second stage is hepatic stage, nucleated RBC. Again, nucleus in the RBC is still maintained, is mesenchymal, blood vessels and tissues. That is second stage in the fetus. Third stage is when myeloid stage comes, then become non-nucleated. Nucleus is removed, and that is the time when hemoglobin comes to form, and this takes place along with the liver. So you have hepatic, liver, bone marrow, both, and these are all in the fetal stage itself. But when come to adult, first RBCs are formed in all the bones, non-nucleated, from periphery. Then from periphery to it moves to the axis as you grow older and older. And I think once that shows the picture how our formation from yolk sac to the first, second stage to the bone marrow, peripheral to the axial, the central moves very well. I think it's very clear. Now come to the red blood cell formation. This is a process which I am talking about, which goes on in the stage. Now the question comes up is, all the RBCs are designed to carry oxygen only. So in other words, what is the structure of the cell is going to be transformed, and I am going to see Divyank and Vishnu Avatar are 10 stages in that particular form and show. And the difference is, it is supposed, first is the proliferation, then differentiation, then maturation, then release, then functional RBC, senile RBC, and killing in 120 days. Now this whole process will be explained to you. And bone marrow is medullary erythropoiesis in the bone marrow. Liver, spleen, extra is hexametal goer. But there are 10 stages which I have shown in the picture down. And these are 10 stages we are going to see step by step. Now comes the first stage of creation is red blood cells, and is pluripotent, totipotent cell, and the size of the first pluripotent stem cell from RBC is going to do is 21 micron itself, micromillimeter or micron. Shape is irregular, base blue in color, and cytoplasm. Large nucleus is present, limited cytoplasm. Proliferation to replace extensively goes on. Can form any type of cells. You have red blood cell, white blood cell, platelets, etc. And origin number remains intact for future cell formation, that is maintained. That's it. Then come to the first stage of creation is pluripotent, which is 21, and is 21 into 21 into 1.6. The volume of a pluripotent set is 900 cubic microns, and please remember 900 cubic microns. Cytoplasm is blue, basophilic, nucleus is large, hemoglobin is not present. Functions are only proliferation. Size increases to 22 microns in the first stage itself. I think once that is understood, I think we know, by this time we know Brahmank 22 by 21 is seen in the first stage itself. And now many people have said, and it is the centrosome which has 21 part becomes 2, and they become 2 centrioles, make 21 into 2. I have already explained earlier. Now comes to the committed progeny set, which are going to form RBCs only, and the size is 22 microns. Shape is irregular, blue in color, and nucleus is 12 millimeter nucleus. In 22 is 12. Then hemoglobin is not there. Functions are differentiation. Size increases 21 micron. That is what the first stage of creation is all about. Then third stage of development is burst forming erythrocytes. Size is irregular. Shape is 21 microns. Cytoplasm is blue. Nucleus is active mitosis taking place. And this is mitosis which had originally, meiosis has given you the extra 21 to 22. Now it is one mitosis, further division into 2, and as a result size starts reducing and function becomes differentiation, and hormone erythropoietin plays a very role in this particular developmental stage, and erythropoietin is produced by kidneys. Now comes to the question of fourth stage. You have a colony forming, and then shape is regular. Size reduces from 22 to 20 to 18, but it's still basophilic. It is still active, and differentiation is there. Erythropoietin is there, but this is the stage where vitamin B12 and folic acid come to play a role to make the RBC's formation much more clearer. I think that is very interesting from a science point of view. Now come to the question of fifth state, and that is same thing goes on and how further it comes, but size reduces from 22 to 20 to 18 to 16, but it's still basophilic, active myocyte differentiation, but same thing continues for the next stage. Now come to the sixth stage. You have basophilic early normoblast. Now first stage, now the third stage comes. Shape is still irregular. Size is 14 microns, it's come down. Cytoplasm is basophilic blue. Now you have RNA. First was DNA, everything is completely alkaline in nature. Now it's come to the stage of RNA is coming. Differentiation is erythropoietin is RBC, ribosome starts forming and prepare for the next stage of hemoglobin formation. I think that's very clear. Now the seventh stage is irregular, size is 12, the multiple colors coming. This multiple colors is what makes it polychromatic in intermediate stage, and that is where no nucleus, cell division has stopped, and copper plays a role, and this is where hemoglobin synthesis starts here at this stage, polychromatic, which is seventh stage, and that is where next formation of hemoglobin will go on further. Now the first stage is exactly what divides 7 stages. Now eighth is orthochromatic. Then what was blue became a multicolor, now becoming more of a red color, and shape becomes regular, is no more irregular. Size reduces from 21, 22 to 20, 18, 16, 14, 12, now come to the micron of 10 levels. Cytoplasm becomes red color, more of hemoglobin, and there is no nucleus, no active mitosis, absolutely, it will be removed, and even other cells have been removed. Cell division has stopped. Now you have maximum hemoglobin coming to this particular stage, that is 8th stage. Now come to the 9th stage, the reticulocyte. So hemoglobin is formed, shape reduces, and size become 8 microns. Cytoplasm is there, more red cells, no nucleus, no mitosis, cell division is stopped, and maximum hemoglobin is fine, but this fine reticulum is still present, and these are the cells from bone marrow, they come to the circulation itself. You can in the blood see reticulocytes even in a normal person, because they have already moved from bone marrow to this, and this change is in the blood itself, circulation. Now come to the 10th stage is mature erythrocyte. Shape is biconcave, and size is around 10, little more than that. Cytoplasm is full red, nucleus is not there, no nuclear, no cell plasm, no mitochondria, all the things are absolutely removed. Now the come to question, why did nature do it? Because this is meant only for hemoglobin, and no solid more than 38.2% solid can be there in any cell including RBC. But in this, when hemoglobin is 35%, so as a result there is no space for nucleus and other organelles by and large. So they had to be given up, so they cannot further work, and that is where replacement of 35%, which is very close to 38.2, makes it. But at the same time, volume, which was 900 cubic micron to start with, at this particular stage is come to only 19. That means it has already come down by 10 times. I think that speaks volumes. Now I am going to show the sum of these 10 effects, which I have shown as a summary in one part. Pluripotent, regular, blue 20 micron, committed 22, burst 20, then 18, 16, 14, 12, 10, 8 and 7. This is how the 10 stages are there, and that is why I say this is as good as Vishnu Avatar or Vishnu Incarnation or 10 stages of development. And same thing for oxygen to be carried, it had to be done that way. And you can see now the size I told you, it was micron increases to 22, then comes down to 1/3, and then 900, and then 9 1/10. And then also one thing can become 10 microns, and duration of red blood cell is 21 days. Again interesting. Within 20 days, 21 days, the RBCs are formed, and they live for only 120 days, not more than that, because they cannot manufacture things for their own development. And by the time they, whatever is manufactured in the beginning can last for 120 days. After that, they are taken to the spleen and they die once for all, and all the material again is recirculated for the formation of further. I think that speaks volume. Now, in the process, let's sum it up. Let's say VISHNU stands for 10 stage development, how it happens in the human body, how oxygen is taking, how the 10 stages are, what is development and everything. I think once that is understood, I think very clear. Brahma is 22 by 21. This is 10 stages. And this how universe has made everything according to that. In the universe, see the form, and same thing in human body, same thing in DNA, same thing in. I think once that is understood, everything is done perfectly only with Devyang, and that's my message is. Now come to the end. I'm not going to, I think it's enough for the day. Thank you very much.